Hello! It is 5 o'clock on Tuesday and very excited to come on here and talk about organic sulfur today. I've got my notes because there's a lot of scientific data on this one that I don't want you to miss out on. And so I didn't want to just rely off of my memory. I wanted you to get the facts, and so I'm very excited. So if you happen to be watching this live, please put live in this comments. And if you are catching the replay, type replay. And something I want to mention before we really get into it is whoever it is that was kind enough to share the Peach Booty behind the scenes 5-day challenge with you, let's say thank you to them. Hello, Rachel. So good to see you from New Zealand. But say a big thank you to whoever it is that invited you to watch this, because it's something that this has been so powerful. There's been amazing feedback, and so if you will just give a shout out to the amazing woman that shared this with you, that would be incredible. So we want to show appreciation. So oftentimes we don't appreciate the people that basically guided us to this, and so I really want us to say thank you. And so for me, I want to give a big shout out to Xtina Harmsworth for being the mastermind behind this and bringing so many people information. So that is my thank you to you. I appreciate you so much. So if you wouldn't mind just shouting out whoever it was that shared this with you, put their names in the comments, that would be absolutely amazing. And with that, we are going to get into organic sulfur. So here, yes, look at that, Xtina, thank you so much. There's so much love for you and what you do, so thank you so much. And again, if you're just joining, shout out in the comments who you want to say thank you to that was the glam babe or the babe that introduced you to this. So let's talk about organic sulfur. So first of all, organic sulfur has a couple of names. MSM is one of them. Has a really long name that I can't pronounce, but the basic is MSM. That is organic sulfur. And so what I want you to know is that this whole process in sulfur actually starts with crystals. So that is the ideal form that you want to find it in, because that's the one that's going to work the best. Because it presents a problem for people that buy it when the crystals are turned into powder, because a lot of the effectiveness is actually lost during that process. So it doesn't mean it's not going to work, but it's not going to be as effective. So if you can get the top effectiveness, that's where it's really helpful. But to derive the maximum benefits from MSM, it must be taken in organic form, in the crystal form. So this is what presents a really funny experience for anybody that has taken it through TSA. I accidentally wasn't thinking, I didn't have my original container, and I brought my little MSM, my sulfur, in a plastic baggie through TSA. Oh, I so got pulled over by that. I got a call. I got pulled over by the TSA agent. I was questioned. They thought it might be drugs. They had to test it, and it was hilarious. So that was quite the experience. So just note to self, always put it in the original container. And if you do have a check bag, it's much easier to put it on that rather than your carry-on. So just learned that little lesson at 6 o'clock in the morning at Dallas International Airport. So whoops. Anybody else ever done something like that in airport that you got pulled over by the TSA agents? Or is it just me? Maybe somebody else is a little bit of a rebel. So anyway, back to the crystals. That is the purest form that you can get it in. And here is the skinny on organic sulfur. It is actually found in all living organisms. It is supposed to be the third most abundant mineral in the human body. Okay, that's huge. Let's really remember this for a second. Organic sulfur is not found in any foods that have been stored during shipping, refrigeration, or cooked. That's huge. So if our food is processed, it's lost its organic sulfur material. And so that's one of those things that the more we get away from the way God gave us food, the more we're lacking from what God intended us to actually get from it. So that is a major problem. And so here is the sad fact too, and we're guilty of this because we farm. But with the introduction of the petrochemical fertilizers in the 1930s, the benefits of sulfur were actually diminished, and that's why we really have to stay hydrated and drink lots of water daily, because we're losing the ability to process things the way that sulfur allows us to. So this is a key thing that scientists have found, that it's kind of a no-brainer when people say, why are we struggling with things as Americans? Why are we having so many issues? It's actually a common sense thing, because they said it is no wonder that we are a nation of overweight, undernourished, disease-ridden kids and adults that are hooked on pharmaceutical drugs, because we have lost one of the main things that actually keeps us functioning at our optimum capacity. So that's major. So organic sulfur is actually used in the body to repair cells that have been damaged, and it also promotes the growth of healthy cells. So when you want brand new good cells, sulfur is going to be at the core of that process. So when we have damaged tissue, when we've had an injury, if we have something that's scar tissue, this is going to be something that we're going to want to utilize. Hey, Corinne, girl, I just love you. Welcome to the feed. So many great people watching today, so this is awesome. But it also helps the body's cells to transport oxygen more effectively. And the cool thing about that is it also makes the cell walls more permeable, which means that you can allow nutrients in and out through, and then also waste materials to go in and out, so they're not just going to get stuck. And so it's important that this is a constant flow so that the in and the out of the good and the bad is really effective. So that is absolutely incredible. Welcome, JC. Good to see you too, lovely girl. Teresa's popping on. We got a great group. Yes, for your back, major. And this is something that can help with inflammation in major ways too. So your back, absolutely, because it's going to bring down the inflammation, and whatever is causing that issue, if it is cells that need to regenerate, then that's going to help the whole process, because your body actually regenerates itself in 7 years. You are a whole new human being. Fascinating. If you go back and look at what I looked like as a human being 7 years ago to now, totally different person. I don't even look like the same person in many ways, because all of those cells have turned over in my body, and I went from very sick and unhealthy to healthy. So that is something that's really powerful. So how much does the body actually use? Well, just in a normal you being you, it uses up to 750 milligrams of organic sulfur naturally. So it is found in foods like fruits, vegetables, meat, and dairy products. Unless you consume raw foods though, to where it hasn't been processed, there's nothing that's been shifted or changed, you're most likely not receiving enough to actually get the health benefits in your body, which is why they've mentioned that, you know, we're kind of a sick nation right now. Don't know if you've noticed. Sorry if I'm the one breaking it to you. But most MSM and other sulfur supplements fail to restore cellular levels of sulfur and omega-3s. The reason is that anything synthetic that sulfur comes into contact with renders it as useless. That is why you need to get it in its rawest form, and it should not be combined with anything else. So that's why the crystals are so important if you want the full health benefit of this. So organic sulfur also has a detoxing effect within the cells of the body. It removes toxins that have accumulated in different types of cells, including, oh, here we go, fat cells. This is huge, because you know that there's actually two purposes for fat cells. They, number one, are basically reserve energy, because that's what the fat is. It's restored or stored energy. But the second thing that it does is when there are a lot of cells or toxins floating in your body says, whoa, I need to protect this body from all these toxins. These are no good. So it sees that floating toxin and it says, I'm going to attach the fat. Because have you ever been that person that you've lost a lot of weight and fast, and you've done a really great job, but all of a sudden you eat one piece of cake, and somehow you gain all this weight back and all this fat? How does that happen? Because you didn't get rid of the toxin too. You not only have to get rid of the stored fat, but you have to get rid of the toxin that you are actually trying to get out of your system. And so in order to have true lasting fat loss, say bye-bye, I'm not finding you again, you need to get rid of the fat and the toxins, because otherwise your body's going to see a reason to actually store that fat. Make sense? Hopefully you're learning something. Give me some heart emojis if that just rocked your world. If you've never heard that information, if that is brand new information to you, that is a really powerful nugget. See, look, we're learning already. Huge power. So anyway, and if when you are taking this, if you are feeling like you're getting the flu or other symptoms where you feel like you're getting sick, this is not getting sick. It is actually detoxifying and getting all of that nasty out, which is why it's so important to consume a lot of water to get things moving so that your body can use the natural channels of elimination to get all of these things out. So you don't stop the process. If it's going at warp speed and you're like, I can't handle this kind of detoxing, you can slow down, but don't stop the amount of crystals that you're taking. And we have a nice little scooper that makes it really easy, but that is something that people need to know. Don't stop it. You can slow down the process if it's going too fast, but you still want to go on that journey. Once you commit to the journey, keep going. So glad you guys are learning something. Now we're going to get into the benefits. Who wants to hear the benefits? Because these are extremely powerful. And again, all of this comes because I'm not an expert. I am not one of those people with a bunch of really cool letters behind my name. I'm just not. I am one of those people that for the last almost 6 years have helped over 15,000 people, and I've seen this be utilized. I've seen this work. People are really trying to get a hold of me. I've seen people leverage this to really help. Sevilla, I like the crystals over the capsules. You can, in our line specifically, we actually put the crystals in the capsules. So you can do that, but I just think it's easier if we can just suck it up. What's the need for the capsule? But you could use either. It's 3 capsules is equal to 1 scoop, just to help you there. So let's go over the benefits, okay? All right, so number 1, a lot of people say, oh, I can't take that. I'm actually allergic to sulfa, so I can't take that. 2 completely different things. Sulfa is man-made. Organic sulfur is a natural compound that is in virtually everything. So unless you're allergic to everything, and if that's the case, I don't know how you survive this long in life, you're not allergic to organic sulfur. So that is something that is really beneficial to know. But sulfa drugs, if you've ever had an interaction with sulfa drugs, 2 completely different things. Sulfa drugs, when I had to be on an antibiotic that had sulfur, had to use it for a bladder infection. So if you've ever had a UTI or bladder infection, typically speaking, they use sulfa drugs. So if you had a reaction to that, totally different than this. But these are really helpful for a lot of different things. So just know that this is a natural compound. It is not a prescription medication. 2 completely different things. I actually wound up in the hospital after using sulfa, and so it's something that you can definitely utilize on a regular basis, because I've had no reactions when I used to be hospitalized for that, because that was not fun. Anybody else had an allergy to sulfa? That was not fun. Organic sulfur increases enzyme production with the glands in the body, substantially increasing overall resistance to illness. So that's a huge benefit. It increases flexibility in the tissues within the body, so that connective tissue. It increases blood circulation and aids in lowering high blood pressure. How many people are on medications for high blood pressure today? That's something that we just want to get rid of, and we want to help the body to do naturally. And so this is a way that you can absolutely implement that. It reduces muscle. Yes, Mandy, it's not fun, is it? Or sulfa's, I don't want to be in the hospital again over that one. No fun. Organic sulfur reduces muscle inflammation, promotes healing in the muscles, and prevents them from being sore. We actually had a stunt woman in Hollywood that utilized this because she did a stunt, fell on her wrist the wrong way, and she had a complete bruise right here. And I was like, oh no. And so she had to be on set the next day, but it doesn't really look good when you've got a huge bruise. So she actually utilized a little bit more of the organic sulfur to pull over that, and you could barely tell that she even had a bruise the next day. And so the stunt woman was using it, but that just shows the power of it. Yes, Robin hives head to toe. Yikes, not fun at all. But to the degree that there is soreness, recovery and return to normality is quickened. So it's a quicker time of healing. So we've utilized these a lot with people that have just had surgery, because it not only detoxifies the liver. And why would we need to detox the liver after a surgery? Because we just had a lot of anesthesia. Unless you just, grit and bear it, you typically go under. And so this can help not only detoxify the liver from what was needed to have the surgery, but to get everything healing again, even if there was, the cuts, all of those things is going to help to repair that tissue much quicker. Athletes in particular benefit from this, as the intake of organic sulfur increases their recovery time, or decreases, you should say. So makes it much quicker. So it also eliminates free radicals in the body. Allergies to pollens and certain foods can be reduced or even eliminated with its use. We saw a drastic difference because we were allergic to darn near everything. I was allergic to the state of Kansas. Anybody else, were you allergic to, or are you allergic to your state? It's like once you walk out your door, it's like boom, it just hits you. That's how we were. I couldn't even go outside during ragweed season without being a complete mess. And so this can help with allergies tremendously, because we actually did allergy shots. I had done them for 7 years. I would get 3 different shots every single week to a month, depending on where I was at with my serum. And I had a lot of scar tissue. So my arms were like double the size. Hey, Brooke. and it was not fun at all. So sulfur actually helped with my allergies, as well as broke up that scar tissue that they said would never get back to normal, and you can't even tell that I ever had shots. So double bonus. Not only did it take the reason for having my allergy shots away, but it helped to take care of what those had caused with scar tissue in my body. So promotes healthy increased growth of hair, fingers, and nails. And the nice thing about the hair is it helps to replace the pigment that your hair is. This is my natural hair color, but James actually went through a very stressful season. He ran for state legislator in the state of Kansas, and it was very stressful. He started to get a lot of grays. He's in his 30s. You shouldn't have a lot of grays in your 30s. And we utilized more organic sulfur to make sure that he had that brown hair. I am really excited for the day that my husband goes salt and pepper later on in life, because he's very handsome that way. He's handsome all the time. I love that man. However, 30s is not when I want to see that salt and pepper look. Anybody else, right? You can relate. So it has also been studied for its anti-cancer effects, because it oxygenates the cells and tissues, which creates an aerobic environment, and cancer cannot thrive in an aerobic environment. So back in the 1930s, there was actually a study done, and there was a prize awarded, a Nobel Prize, for finding that cancer, sickness, illness, and disease cannot thrive in an alkaline, oxygenated, which is an aerobic, environment. And so that's something that we should have utilized decades ago, almost 80 years ago, and maybe we wouldn't be in the mess we are in. So if you can basically make your body to where it is a cancer no welcome, because it has a lot of oxygenation and it's regenerating cells in a healthy state, that is a huge win. And so that's something that's a huge benefit. Let's see. Also, it has shown the reversal of some pretty powerful things like osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, because it's helping out that brain, and the bone structure and the connective tissue, which those are all attacked in those things. So I think that's pretty powerful. It aids in the healthy skin production and the reduction of wrinkles. It is also one of the main ingredients in moisturizing creams. Here's something powerful too. When I started implementing the organic sulfur, I noticed that I had a couple of things that I was like, ooh, not really thrilled about this. Had a little mild headache, but I started to break out right here in like a chin strap area. And the reason why is I was pulling the heavy metals from my brain out, and it was detoxing them here. So it was crazy. Look, Sevilla said she's actually seeing lots of new hair shoots after 2 months of sulfur use. Yes, everybody that has all those little baby hairs in the corner here, we are taking our organic sulfur, we are taking our acai, and so it's kind of fun to see the new hair grow. Danielle Fenster, she's like the lioness. She always has new hair growth. So welcome, Lori, so good to see you. Is it good for migraines? It can help. I have something else that works better for migraines, Terza, but it's something could absolutely help if it's a lack of oxygen, or if it's related to maybe a chronic dehydration. It could definitely help in that area. So it depends on what the source is. Also, if it's hormone based, because sulfur helps to detoxify the liver is what can throw the hormones off, because that's one of the things that it's supposed to regulate. So if it's based in those things, it could absolutely help with that. It just depends on what the source of the migraine is. But if people are struggling with migraines, we don't have 3 months or a month or two to basically say, well, I need to, you want to work on your base, but there's things that you need immediate. So I do have some immediate things that I use. I call it a mood, mind, memory mix, and that helps with migraines very quickly and are very helpful. We utilize that a lot with people that are struggling with PTSD. We utilize that for depression. We utilize it for kids with ADD, ADHD. That's a huge benefit because it's that immediate trigger that can help. So, Corinne, yes, it would be good for arthritis because it helps to rebuild the joint cushioning between your joints. So, absolutely. So, Stephanie, we can go over that too. If Xtina is okay with it, Xtina, you let me know. But I'm thinking towards the end of the week, maybe we do a question and answer session to where people could just ask some questions. We set up a time. You let me know if you're cool with that. But I'd be happy to do that. so that we can kind of go over those things. And if anybody has some questions, please get back to the person that invited you into this behind the scenes look. And again, we did this at the beginning of the video, but if you would just say thank you to the person that invited you to watch this, we need to show some love for people that are willing to share things that have helped them. So if you would shout out and say thank you to the person who invited you onto this, I think that would be amazing. And very beneficial, but absolutely, we'd be able to go over some of these things. So you let me know, Xtina, if you're up for that. Where did we leave? So skin production and wrinkles, that's been a huge benefit. It has a lot to do with the superfruits help with the glow, but I've noticed the organic sulfur has done that too. It is highly beneficial for and effective in skin conditions. So acne, eczema, psoriasis. Also, that's helping the immune system, specifically in the intestines, so that's a big benefit, as well as problematic skin, and help skin stay healthy and strong and guard against premature aging. None of us want to age early, right? No, I don't think any of us are running into wrinkles saying yes, please. And so this is something that can naturally help that. JC, I prefer the crystals, but the capsules that we have in the line are fine as well. What you want to make sure you don't do is, yes, Corinne, it can help with acne scarring because it's regenerating those cells. That's what it's doing. So the difference in that is you want to make sure that whatever you use, because some people have access to sulfur, you want to make sure it's not in powder form. It needs to be in crystal form. So if it's the crystals inside of the capsules, totally fine. But what you want to do is make sure that you're getting the crystal form. Robin, it would start to reverse that because it's going to help the skin. So using like Glow that Xtina has is going to be amazing. That's going to be something that's going to help make it even faster and really get to the fine lines and wrinkles, but this is going to help from the internal side. So you use things like that Glow line that Xtina has with XMH topically, but then for the internal component, sulfur is something that you would absolutely want to use. Acai that we talked about earlier on in the week would be one that you would want to use. Yes, Danielle, Xtina, all these people for sharing. That's so powerful. Priscilla, you can absolutely take this while nursing. This is one that is safe pregnant and nursing. And so what you can utilize, you want to start slower if you're just introducing it, but it's one that if you've been taking before, you don't have to stop. You can absolutely take it and start incorporating it. You just want to start a little bit smaller so that your body gets used to it. So yes, this one is totally okay. Because again, it's just something that's natural. So yes, helping from the inside out. So Xtina can help us with the outside in. This helps with the inside out. So it's a great tag team there. Because you can't just do one and not the other. That doesn't make sense. But I've noticed a lot of differences since incorporating the Glow. Like I'm really loving that. If you haven't checked that out, ask Xtina about that because it is so worth it. Also, this is powerful. Anybody know anybody that's a diabetic? Hello. Yes, huge benefits for the baby. You're talking that baby's going to be so brilliant with their brain. Oh, I wish my mom would have taken organic sulfur when she was pregnant with me. I wish I would have taken it with my kids. So sorry. Anybody that is pregnant, now that you know about Pure, that's huge. That is absolutely huge, right? Oh, hello. Anyway, but yes, we know people with diabetes. So it helps the body to properly regulate insulin production. Adequate organic sulfur in the diet can reduce the need for insulin injection. So even if they're a type 1 diabetic, this can reduce the need for how much insulin they actually have to utilize. Girl, it's been an awesome day and I am definitely exercising my brain today. So happy to help. And I've taken a lot of really good notes over the years too, and I love studies. And when James finds a really great study, I love to document that. I love to store it so that I can always go back and refer to it. And organic sulfur, when I find myself forgetting to take it, I'm like, I know which document I'm going back to remind myself of why I don't forget to take these things, because I want to be healthy, I want to be strong, I want my brain to be sharp, and I don't want to look like I am 50 when I'm 30. And the other thing is you look at pictures of me when I was 18, give me my 33-year-old body and skin any day over my 18-year-old. I don't know how many people can say that. You could not pay me to go back to my 18-year-old pre-baby body. You could not pay me enough money. I will take this body any day, and I wish I would have had this kind of information because it was really powerful. Can anybody else say that they genuinely love their body more today then their 18-year-old, top of your game, what most people say body, you couldn't pay me to go back there. No way. No way. Okay, back to this. It also helps in, now back to the diabetes. I have had so many people that have been on metformin that once they incorporate organic sulfur, their doctor takes them off of it because they no longer have a need for it. And so that is something that is powerful. I will share photos. I'm going to go back to the archives and I'll share some photos with you ladies, because, you know, I know many of us just have met in the last year. So really powerful. Yes, Corinne, I wish I would have known back at your age, but I would not take my body back from 18. It helps to reduce and often eliminate diverticulitis. So that is a issue in your intestines. Parasites living in the colon are unable to remain attached to the colon walls on which organic sulfur forms a smooth, resistant coating. So hatching worms have nothing to grab onto and flush out. Oh, does anybody want to get rid of their parasites? When Extina started that last year, it still gives me the heebie-jeebies thinking of everything that was leaving the body. But the last thing that you want is for hatching babies to have anything to attach to. So if that is the only reason you take organic sulfur, at least know that hatching babies are not going to have anything to attach to if you're taking this. Also, mosquitoes will not bite you as often. I don't know if anybody else is a mosquito magnet, but when you have enough organic sulfur going through your body, they don't like you. They'll go find your friend that has a lot of sugar in their body. So this is one way that you can internally help yourself from getting bit by mosquitoes. That alone help. Let's see. Helps to alleviate emphysema. It provides the body with material to manufacture new healthy cells, especially on the lung walls. It's really powerful for those with asthma. And our son had a weakened lung system. He had to do a lot of breathing treatments, and since we've incorporated this, he's only been able to, or only had to, do a handful, less than 5 breathing treatments since then. And so that's something that's really powerful. Are we perfect? No. Are we foolproof? No. Like, we still have some things, but I would take less than 5 in the last 3 years over 3 times in a month, any day. So, oh my gosh. Yes, JC, I'm so glad you're getting the benefit of this. Thanks for tuning in, because you didn't have to. So none of you have to. The fact that you're actually investing in your health, that's huge. Okay, so it also can detox heavy metals out of your system, which is really powerful. If anybody has ever noticed adverse effects after heavy metals, then that's something that you can utilize. But vaccines, we started to notice some different things, patterns after certain vaccines, and so we were able to pull the heavy metals out of our system. A lot of people struggle with asthma, different things after vaccines and the heavy metals, so this is something that can help to pull those heavy metals out if you happen to be one of those people that detoxified or that had the adverse effects after that. So not fun. Here we go. Because of its ability to make cell walls more permeable, causes the body to rapidly release alcohol or hangover toxins. So this is your hangover remedy. If you have a bottle of wine or drink too much, you go to a wedding or you have a celebration and you need to detox your body fast and you are done being hungover, take the organic sulfur. So that is really powerful because it's going to get those things out much, much quicker. The process actually happens more rapidly than it takes to recover from the hangover, often as quickly as 20 minutes. How many people would like to go back to some of their partying days and know that within 20 minutes they could have been done with the hangover? So, anyway, just saying that. It alleviates chronic headaches. So, Terza, you asked about this. Increased circulation in the brain cells promotes proper blood circulation within the brain. Less pressure and pain result in less tendencies for headaches. So this is a powerful benefit there. It also reduces hypoglycemia in the body because it makes it easier for the body to introduce blood sugar through the permeable cell walls. So are you hearing a common theme here? Less insulin is demanded for the process, resulting in less overuse of the pancreas. Let's give our pancreas a break. We have a lot of sugar in this country and we make it work far too hard. So if we can give it a little bit of a break, that is amazing, right? Yes, Mandy, next time your husband, yep, mix them up, say, hey, 20 minutes, you're gonna feel better. That is powerful. But several months of consistent organic sulfur can reduce or eliminate hypoglycemia entirely. I have not struggled with hypoglycemia now for 5 years. That's something that I was constantly plagued with, really had some issues with it. Also, malabsorption of iron was something I struggled with, so I was anemic too. And that did not make me feel very good in the mornings oftentimes, and also during pregnancy. That was not fun, not at all. And so that is something that could be powerful. Brooke, we could definitely help you with that. So definitely get with whoever invited you to this and say, I need some help, because be done with those migraines. There's no reason to be struggling with migraines at all. Sarah Fisher, I'm so glad you jumped on. You are going to love this. You're going to want to go back to the beginning because it's really powerful. I've never pulled out this study for you. All right. How many women think that PMS should be a normal thing? Hi, Lynn. It shouldn't. We should not be moody messes. And so wait till you hear this. Organic sulfur helps to alleviate PMS. The glandular production is enhanced by organic sulfur to have more levels of production. Acid levels, enzyme levels, and hormone levels are more evenly balanced with organic sulfur. Therefore, cramps, headaches, and nausea from the monthly cycle can be reduced or eliminated through its use. Where was this years ago? Right? Because I was a moody, crampy, hormone jacked up mess. So it also helps to promote better kidney function more efficiently. Water retention problems due to bad kidney function can also be eliminated. Water retention, this is one of my go-tos. So if I can feel that I ate some things I shouldn't have and I'm puffier than normal, my rings aren't sliding off as easily as they should, then I know it's time to go get out the organic sulfur. I'll use a little bit more, and then I also use 2 other things, a natural diuretic and something to balance my electrolytes to pull any excess fluid. I use this a lot on planes because long international flights are no fun when you swell up like a pumpkin or a balloon and you can't put your shoes on at the end of the flights. Has anybody else done this? Put in the airplane emoji if you've ever had problems during flights. This is powerful if you want to pull all of those fluids out and fast. And so that is powerful. I also have worked with so many women with inflammation. Do you know a lot of times it is not actually fat that your body's holding on to, it's inflammation. And so I've seen people that in 48 hours have pulled 10 pounds off of them in inflammation fluids. Hello, you might think that you have a lot of weight to lose, and really all you have is a lot of inflammation to lose. Terza, where have you been my whole life, girl? See, we have lots of people that fly on airplanes and that get all of that swelling. It's not fun at all, right? Just back, yes, JC says, yes, just back the whole delivery truck up here, wow. And this is why our kids should be taking it. Our kids take it every single day, twice a day. James takes it twice a day, every day. This is also his love note to me every morning. He makes my organic sulfur and it's on the counter for me. So this is something that we don't go without. So very powerful. We talked about kidney function, right? Yes, Kim, I'm not fat, I am inflamed. That very well could be the thing, especially if you feel puffy. One of the most powerful moments after I was introduced to Pure, I'll share 2 stories. I was doing my FaceTime and I was FaceTiming like this because if I went like this, I had a double chin and I was like, ain't nobody gonna see that. So there was one moment that I went like this and I was like, oh no, there's a double chin. I know there is. And there wasn't. I was like, my double chin is gone? No way. Like huge epic moment. Second, I was washing my hands one day and I found that I could feel my knuckles. I actually felt the bones in my hands. And not because they're like overly skinny, but I felt the bones rather than just the inflammation of my puffy fingers. That was huge for me because I cannot tell you a time in my entire life that I felt that in my hands. It had always been puffiness. It was always skin on skin. It was never bones. And I was like, this is the trippiest thing in the entire world. Like, has anybody ever gotten glasses? And you're like, oh, I can see fine. Then all of a sudden you get glasses and you're like, oh, trees have leaves? You know, I almost felt like the trees had been color washed with that brilliant color wash genius brush because they were always blurry. But then when you get glasses and it's like, oh, they've got detail. It's powerful. Same thing happened with my hands. Sevilla says 30 days lost an inch around each knee. Hello, that's huge. Proof is in the results. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I'll get back to this. Speaking of eyes, it helps alleviate eye problems. You can actually use them as eye drops. This is where I got my eye drop recipe. So Xtina has talked about having or thinking that she might have pink eye or having eyes that might be bloodshot from time to time, especially after some makeup application, this is something that you can make eye drops. And these eye drops are like less than $1 to make, and they last for years. And so it's a huge benefit. It's natural. There's no chemicals. There's no harsh things for your body, but that's a way that if we get pink eye, we don't have to worry about, shoot, it's outside business hours for my doctor. I can just go into the refrigerator and get the eye drops that I make. I have a sulfur eye drop that I make for everyday use, and then I have a sulfur noni drop for anytime there's some kind of an infection or something attacking my eyes, so like pink eye, styes, those types of things, if there's an irritation. So I utilize these on a very regular basis, and it's less than $1 to make. Like, hello, you know, the trip to the, you know, doctor outside of hours, because isn't that always when things happen, outside of hours? So anyway, back to this. It will also deliver essential omega-3s throughout the body, and it will also allow the body to produce vitamin B12. Yes, Kelly, it does work fast. JC, remind me of that and I'll get you the recipe. It's really simple. So B12, you want your body to produce B12 on its own. You want it to have its natural energy. And so this is a way that it can actually rally around, because you are giving it the tools that it needs to do its job. This human body is perfect. Pure isn't doing anything. It's not a magic pill. It's not a magic juice. All it is doing is taking natural things and giving them to the body. Because the body then says, hey, I got this. I could totally go knock this out of the park because I now have what I need. It's not that this is some magic potion or any of that. It's just getting as close to what God gave us and giving it to us in natural form without trying to add a whole bunch of things so that our pocketbooks benefit. That's not the point. Our point is to give people what they need, what they want, to get the results that they want, and the body will produce every time. And that's what our company stands for. That's why we are pure. The ingredients are pure. People are people united, reaching everyone. So 2 more. Studies have shown that organic sulfur has been a main component for 29 children with autism. Very, very, very powerful there, if you ask me. Also, for men that have to use Viagra or Cialis, this is a natural erectile dysfunction thing that they can utilize. So that's a huge benefit. So for me, I'm going to make sure my husband takes it every single day. Not that he has a problem, but we don't need to have a problem ever. That is one area that I want to make sure is happy and healthy at all times. So Sevilla says she has more energy than she has had in 15 years. Isn't it powerful? So good. Sevilla, I'm so glad you were on today to share. That's a huge win. So anyway, one other thing you do need to know, if you take any medication, you need to have at least a 30-minute gap between organic sulfur and any medications or supplements. So I like to take this one, leave it on an empty stomach for about that 30-minute mark, at least 10 to 15 when it comes to supplements. But if you are taking any medications, whether they're prescription or over the counter, we need to take them at least an hour outside. And if it happens to be a thyroid-based medication, it is best 90 minutes to a full 2 hours. And so it's not because it hurts, but it's one of those that can enhance the effects of whatever it's taken with. It's a catalyst because of that permeability. And so we want to make sure we take those outside because medications and supplements are meant to be absorbed at a certain rate. Therefore, we don't want to mess with that. So anyway, I hope this helped. Anybody get some benefit from that today? So I appreciate you allowing me to share my nerdy geek moments that I love so much, but this is why I'm passionate about it, because it actually works. And so I just appreciate you taking the time to join this. And again, if you are saying, hey, this is something I need to know more about, definitely get back with the person that invited you into this group. And if we can just show some love and appreciation, I don't know about you, but most people don't get enough love and appreciation in their day. So if you are watching this live, write live. If you're watching the replay, type replay. But if you are watching this, please do me one simple favor and just say thank you to whoever it was that introduced you to this group. And so if you can shout out that love and that thanks so that we all see the power of what happens when we actually share something, then that is what's going to be powerful, because that's when people's lives are actually changed, when we have the guts to share what has changed us. That's why when somebody shared with me what XMH had done for them, it totally changed my confidence level. When my optometrist was willing to share with me what had changed her, she changed my life forever with our health. And she not only changed mine, but she changed our children's, and she changed their health in such a powerful way that she changed the generations that they will have. She changed our future grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And so I'm just so appreciative to her for being willing to share. So I thank Heather Robin every single day that she shared this with me. And I thank you so much for Xtina Harmsworth for sharing this group with me, because she really has a powerful message to share with people. And I'm just so grateful that even though she has nothing to benefit from this at all, she is willing to share because she knows that other people deserve to live life to the fullest as well. So please give a shout out to whoever it is that shared this with you, because we need to show some love and appreciation. So with that, we will say goodbye until tomorrow. Bye, ladies.